Introduction of Renga 57577 linked verse or tweaked verse played by more than one poet. Though similar in 57577 letter syllable format, a Renga linked verse is different from a tanka in that it is a combination play between several poets. After the first poet makes the former 575 part of the rhyme, the second thinks about a suitable 77 for the latter part, and thus linked the two parts together into a whole poem of 57577 letter syllable tanka format. The combination product of Renga, of course, is not so much an authentic piece of art as a party entertainment. But just look around you in a karaoke box and see what they want from other participants. Beautifully artistic voice, or strident yet companionable chant. Just as karaoke singing party is an almost mandatory social intercourse in today's Japan, the exchange of tanka poems was an established routine of noble men and women in the Heian era. While poetry was ubiquitous, true poets were few. The result was a long, tedious stream of vapid rhymes rapidly produced as partly modified imitations of famous works by others. Now you could imagine what a welcome relief Renga could have offered to largely prosaic people in a universe where verse reigned supreme. While it was not exactly impossible to produce an unexpectedly superb piece of poetry out of creative harmony between two excellent poets, Renga's practical merit must have been its magically comical power of forging out fancifully farcical poems. As such, people in the Heian era Japan regarded Renga as something inferior to tanka, with the result that very few actual works of Renga were recorded in documents to survive to this day. The first recorded Renga anthology in Japan with the name of Chikuba Kyoginshu, meaning crazy chants of bamboo horses, dates back as recently as 1499, towards the end of the Muromachi era. In the ensuing years of Sengoku warring state, Azuchi Momoyama, dominated by Oda Nobunaga and Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Edo, initiated by Tokugawa Ieyasu periods, Renga enjoyed its prime, not due to its artistic merit, but because it offered a convenient occasion for rivaling warlords and merchants to get to know each other in a relaxed mood. In this sense, Renga was a poetic equivalent of cha no yu, a tea ceremony. It was not the excellent taste of tea or poetry that was actually sought in cha no yu or Renga, but a welcome detente fostered in the mood of cooperative creation and appreciation between otherwise strangers who were potentially hostile and therefore dangerous. In logical consequence, Renga was rarely rhymed out in a mood of artistic competition, with a view to excelling the opponent by creating an overwhelmingly better 7/7 than the rival's 5/7/5, or vice versa. In the absence of such competitive nature, Renga naturally flew downstream, without aspiring to go upstream, as all artistic pursuits should. Weary of such tepid atmosphere, a certain Renga master in the early Edo era turned his back on the tame intimate rhymes of 5/7/5/7/7 and boldly broke it down into simpler 5/7/5. This epoch-making breakthrough by Matsuo Basho, 1644 to 1694, was about the only literary merit brought about by less than artistic Renga verse linking. Anyway, let's see how Renga works. First, someone starts off a poem by rhyming out the first 5-7-5 part of a tanka, as in the following example. In 5-7-5 Japanese syllables, 雨がした花に酔わざる人はなし。雨がした adverb in the whole wide world. 花 noun flowers blossom. に postpositional particle caused by due to thanks to. 酔わ verb get intoxicated drank fascinated. ざる auxiliary verb negative not. 人 noun a human being person. は postpositional particle subject. なし verb do not exist. There is no one in the world that does not get intoxicated with flowers. Informal but vapid 5-7-5 English words. In the whole wide world, could there be anyone that's not intoxicated by these beautiful cherry flowers? In more rhythmical 5-7, not 5-7-5 English words, all people under the sun get cherry drunk in the spring field. Following the former 5-7-5 part by someone else, another poet, in this case a rather seriously artistic one, complements the latter 7-7 part to complete the rhyme as a piece of poetic art. In 7-7 Japanese syllables, adaに夏にそう春雨の酒 adaに adverb in vain to no purpose as a wet blanket. Na adverb do not. 次 verb pour fill in. So postpositional particle emphatic please. Please don't pour in vain. 掛け言葉 start. A 春雨 noun rain in spring. No postpositional particle a positive the of. Sake noun alcoholic drink liquor sake the liquor of spring rain. B 春 noun spring. Same verb get sober disillusioned. No postpositional particle a positive the of. Sake noun alcoholic drink liquor sake the liquor to wet blanket spring. 掛け言葉 end. Informal but prosaic 7-7 English words. Let spring rain pour as sake, and the joyful flower viewing party will be over. In curt and catchy 7, not 7-7 English words. Don't pour spring rain liquor in vain. In fanciful 5-5, not 7-7 English words. Pour not this vernal rain, more sips make everyone sober. Not all Renga poets are ardent art lovers. The preceding 5-7-5 could, indeed must, more often than not, end up in anticlimax by the hands of partners who'll do nothing but say something similar in 7-7 words with partly modified phrases in it, just right. And 7 Japanese syllables. 酒に酔わざる人はあれども。酒 noun alcoholic drink liquor sake に postpositional particle cause by due to thanks to 酔わ verb get intoxicated drank fascinated ざる auxiliary verb negative not 人 noun a human being person は postpositional particle subject あれ verb exist どうも conjunction though there does exist someone who does not get intoxicated with alcohol. In 5-7, not 7-7 English words, though some will remain sober, no matter how much sake they have. Or someone might finish up the Renga with a sarcastic ending like this. In 7-7 Japanese syllables, 花に合わざる男あれども。花 noun a woman as beautiful as a flower に postpositional particle object あは verb meet as a lover have intimate relationship with ざる auxiliary verb negative not 男 noun a man male あれ verb exist どうも conjunction though there does exist a man who does not meet and mate a beautiful woman. In 5-7, not 7-7 English words, though some men remain single without meeting, let alone mating, flowery women. This example Renga of mine would be enough proof to show you that tanka poems could be partly artistic and partly classical. According to the poets in tandem, it could be initially prosaic, but finally artistic. At first gleeful, in the end cynical. This case-sensitive variability of Renga has its own charm. Still, it's not so much a genre of art as a parlor trick. Also, you must have seen how difficult it is to complete a 5-7-5-7-7 tanka as a totally artistic entity, whether by yourself or in combination with someone else. It would often start out great and end up flat. It is quite easy to come up with splendid phrases in 5-7-5 or 7-7 alone. But a happy combination of the pair is quite rare to find. No wonder you find yourself surrounded in Japan by no end of proudly curt haiku lines in 5-7-5 letters, while rarely encountering artistically completed tanka rhymes in 5-7-5-7-7. Haiku is a sketch. Tanka is a scheme. While there can only be scenery in the 17-word 5-7-5 world of haiku, there is room enough for a well-crafted scenario in the 31-word 5-7-5-7-7 tanka. If it fails to make the most of this roomy potential, a tanka just fails flat and makes you wish you had stopped short at 5-7-5 to make it sound like a haiku instead. Although a true haiku is anything but a simply curtailed version of tanka.